Alright guys, welcome back to another recap. Another green day. Today is probably going to be a quick short one. I guess I do have a couple shorts to show, but my trading on Thinkorswim is going to be pretty fast. I am up on the day, so third green day of the year, so I'm starting the year with 3 days green in a row. But today is going to be a little bit smaller, so let me show you guys my P&L. So it looks like I took 3 trades on Tesla. I think this was my initial one, so I ended up going red first. So that's my first red trade of all year because I took two yesterday, green, and then two the day before that, both green, 400, 300, and 600. And then today, that's my first red trade of the year. Before I do continue, guys, if you guys are new to this channel, I stream live every single morning right here on YouTube, completely free, 15 minutes before market opens. Also, if you guys are beginners to trading and you want to learn how to trading, I do offer a course, and I'm only mentioning this right now because I got a sale going on all the way until Sunday the 8th at midnight for the biggest discount I've offered, which is $200 off. So if you guys want to take advantage of that sale, $200 off, you got to type in new year at the checkout page on my course. So the link is going to be down below. New year, no spaces, no S, so new year, and you should get $200 off. And like I said, that's the biggest one I've offered ever and expires on Sunday. Anyways, back to trading. So this was my first trade of the day. I went down 100, then I took another trade, went up 100 on it, so I went back to green on the trade, and then I took another one, $100. So 100, 100, 100. But today, I will say it was very choppy. It still is very choppy. So if you go back and look at Tesla, you guys can see my trades here. So I ended up going long first. I'll explain it in a second. But, kind of pretty range trapped this morning. So I'm kind of glad I'm even green because it was pretty choppy. I started off with a red, got it back a little bit. This right here would have been a nice trade if it worked out. This right here would have been a nice trade as well as if it worked out, but it didn't happen. And then as far as penny stocks, I'll go over these real quick. I am trying to short a few of them, but there was just no longs unless you take big risk or kind of riskier trades, but not my setups where I can scale in and push big share size. BLPH is one. I almost bought the dip here, but that's after it sells off. That's a risky play. It did end up bouncing. I would have caught maybe 273 up to 290s, 20 cents there. I ended up flushing right back down. I kind of was skeptical on that one, so no trades here. The other one, ABVC, this is one that a couple of the guys on the live stream were able to take. And I get it, it halted down and then halted up, resumed. I almost took the trade here. That's the time that I saw it. But if I take the trade here at 1.6 to the high day, maybe 1.8, another 20 cents. But it had already halted down and halted up twice. I thought this thing could halt down again. I was scared. This is not one that I'm going to jump in here with 10,000 shares. If I lose 20 cents on 10K shares, I'm down $2,000 that fast. I can't scale up on these. This would just be to make quick buck here and there. So I ended up just not even taking that one at all. I let it go right there. Especially, I normally would probably take this, but especially seeing JSPR the first day of New Year, trading day, so Tuesday, and then yesterday BVOS, also halting left and right and up and down. I kept saying that thing, and that's because they are. And so when I saw this one again, I was like, this cannot be happening again. So I decided to not touch this one on the long side. But what I'm getting to is I don't see anything showing good possible trades to the long side. MEGL kind of ended up going after stream. I don't think I saw a clean entry on it. It kind of just goes parabolic and then it just kind of hovers sideways. HKD, pretty risky. Before market open, I mentioned this one. I just really didn't want to touch it. I also didn't expect for it to go up $20 a share or whatever it went from 15 to $20 a share. Didn't expect that. Um, and that's about it. A couple of these other ones, AT&F also popped up a little bit afterwards. This one, I did have a little bit of a trade planned on this one. I think it was this $5. I called it on stream. I said if this $5 keeps holding, this thing could go parabolic. It looks like broke out of 5, came back, held 5, and then ended up getting that parabolic move. But I was actually gone eating during this time, so I wasn't sitting at my computer. Anyways, back to Tesla. Tesla, I got chopped around. So there you go. You guys can see my trades. before I go, I moved my camera to the side so you guys can see my daily chart and what my plan is with Tesla. And I mentioned it on stream, but I'll mention it on here, guys. So you guys are getting a lot of knowledge on stream. So I'd recommend you guys hop in on streams. A lot of times I don't go over these plays afterwards, but this one seems pretty clear, pretty obvious to me. So I'm gonna point it out to you guys as well. Tesla, the first day we hit, pulled down, hit 108. That was the low of the day. Second day we came back down, hit a little bit lower, but still 108 on the day. Had a nice bounce. This third attempt down here ends up taking that 108 level out all the way down to 104, but then it ended up pushing right back up and then ended up closing right at that same levels up here. So 108 that day closed there at 10 108.10, 108.12. And then yesterday, again, we had some trades live at that 108 level. So right there at 108 as support. And today, again, it ended up pushing to 108. So my first, my two scenarios today were the same thing as yesterday. If we lose 108 and market starts selling off, Tesla's going to lose 108 and go straight down to 104 and then $100. If 108 holds that support on Tesla, I could see Tesla keep bouncing. I could see it catch another little bit of a push back up. Maybe again 112, 13, 14, and see if we end up getting a relief bounce, not just a dead cat bounce. So my initial thought was, hey, if this 108 keeps holding, I'm going to go long. So I ended up pulling down to 108. It held 108 and it started pushing back up. I tried getting a pullback here and trying to get that long play here. It eventually reversed on me right away, and so you could see I ended up buying 200 and then I shorted 700. That's because I bought 200 and then I went negative 500 on the way down, and I think that might be I don't remember exact P&Ls, but somewhere around here, that's when I went down about $100, and might have been that short right there that ended up shorting there and didn't really end up following through. So I might have had a loss on that. So it looks like I shorted 108, covered 107. So it looks like a win, but I can't remember. So I shorted there, covered maybe down here, and then again I was like, nope, 108. 108. The daily is telling me 108 is going to be the level of support. And so I'm going to point this out here on Tesla, and then I'm actually going to go and show you guys an example on Apple and why I ended up taking this trade. So I ended up closing out of that, and then I ended up jumping back in long at that 108 at this higher low. So it kind of pops down, creates a low, goes back down, makes a lower low on Tesla, holding that 108 a key level, and then it kind of retraces back up, makes a higher low, and that's when I ended up jumping in on this trade here for a long. Now, a long starter 200, I kind of wanted this thing to push through VWAP, kind of just stumble a little bit about around VWAP on the top side of VWAP, so I can add to my play and then catch that move back up again to 110, 110.50, which we know 110.50 is a key level. So this trade is probably what ended getting me back my $100, but it didn't work out. It ended up stopping me out right here at that red candle, which I guess it worked out. But if you guys go look at Apple this morning, and I'll show you guys right here what I mean. This is kind of what I was looking for, right? So you get that low, you get that lower low, but against a key level, I guess I have 125 here on Apple, which kind of not that accurate. And then you get a higher low. Once you get that higher low, you start adding in on that. You get the pounce of VWAP, and then you get that very nice move higher. This is kind of what I was looking for Tesla to do. It didn't do it, stopped me out early, and then kind of went without me a little bit. So it's not a big deal, but could have been a nice winner, but this it just comes to show that today was just a choppy day, and it was chopping me around. So I barely made money long, or lost money. Then I lost money on the short side. Then I made it back on the long side, and then at this point I thought this isn't gonna sell off today. I just had a feeling. I didn't think Tesla was going to have another huge day today. I think if we are, we're going to consolidate. I think we have some news tomorrow as well, so market is probably just waiting for those news, non-farm payroll, other news. I think it was just going to hold off. So when I saw that it tried pushing below this 108 level again, kind of panic flushing, kind of baiting some sellers to push the short. I ended up buying some of these dips, and I added pretty heavy here. So you can see I added 200, I added 100 more, dropped a little more, I added 200. So now I was in on this trade here with 500 shares. And this is my big trade of the day again, I thought, we came down to 108, we tried again, came back to 108, we bounced again, came back to 108, kind of dropping below it. It's going to bounce at 108 and eventually take off, or it's either going to just flush after 108 and really sell off. But I didn't think that was going to happen, so I ended up buying the dips here. It pops up pretty nice, and on this trade itself, I was up another 300 bucks on the day. So now I was up 350 on total on the day. And again, I was just looking for this thing to extend up to VWAP, past VWAP, get me up to 110, 110.50. Fortunately, that didn't happen, and this one actually had a pretty quick reversal here. So I bought here, bought here, bought here, pushed up pretty nice. I was celebrating right here. I was like, oh, I'm up 300 bucks. And then this thing sold off right here. I wanted this candle to go red, kind of hold that level there, and then this next candle to come back up. So when this thing flushed all the way back down, I got a little bit paranoid, and then as soon as that candle opened, I ended up closing that. So that's that 500 shares closing these 500. So I ended up almost break even on that trade, and then I was like, it might actually still go. So I ended up re-adding again 200, added 100 more here, looking for this thing to break out again. It just wasn't. It just felt like there was a wall there. It couldn't go, so I ended up closing it there. $100 profit on the day, did flush back down, but eventually did end up bouncing off that 108 level and hitting that same 110.50 target, which is what I was looking at right there. So hit it there, hit it there, hit it there. So you can see how accurate that line was, and I've had that line drawn all day long. I had a feeling it was also gonna do this, like if like Tesla was gonna bounce off of 108. So the good thing is that I did end up jumping on some calls, so I bought some options, and I think I bought them pretty early. I don't know if it was somewhere through here or through here that I just had a feeling, with options I can swing them a little bit more. I can give myself a little bit more risk. I can kind of like not manage it as closely as a day trade, and so I ended up putting some calls out for Tesla. I'm not expecting this thing to bounce all the way, but I'm still holding my calls, and they're up pretty good. So I might take some off at the end of the day if we push, or I might swing some until tomorrow, depending on how I'm feeling about news or how it comes out to be. So at least my options are green. As far as my short, so that's my Tesla trade. That was my analysis on Tesla. I got pretty chopped around. Still ended up green, so I'm happy. My shorts. So I ended up shorting BLPH. And on my shorts, I think I did a pretty good job today. I just got stopped out a lot, and I kind of chased a few of them. So I got to remember, if I just want to short, I got to know that I'm shorting that for that day and attack them early and high, because a lot of times I'm waiting for these things to push, and I'm waiting for that pullback to go long on this account, when in reality that push was where I needed to short, and then that pullback is not even a pullback, it's just flushing down. And so that's what kind of this did. I'm waiting for this thing to push, kind of pull back, give me this $3 hold number here, and I wanted to take a long trade here to go for the next leg up, and that was my problem. So my problem was that I wanted to catch a long here on this account to take that trade through 350, that whenever I saw this flush all the way back down here, I hesitated buying here, and I was like, that's too low. This is a short setup. So then when I started locating shorts on this trade, I was already late to it, so I was just able to short it on this second pop here, and I shorted it right there on those two accounts. And like I said, nothing was fading today. I didn't catch a good fade. ABVC kind of faded, but I ended up not catching that one. I'll show the chart here. So I shorted there, and then I ended up getting the move in my favor. I took a little bit off, and then I had to stop at break even, and I'm pretty sure this is it for this chart here. Ended up stopping out. I did make money on this. I made money on all three of my shorts, but I did pay pretty good commissions today, especially on BLPH. So that's going to eat us some profit off of that account. So BLPH shorted, covered, stopped out on that squeeze, and then ended up going sideways. I really thought this one was also going to have another push again later in the day, since it was going sideways for so long. And on that another push, either we open up like ATNF did, like this, or we just ended up rejecting and flushing back down, which is what I was hoping for, since I already had the locates, but didn't happen. My alert's still sitting there. The other one is ABVC. This one I was also in green trade shorting, and not the problem with this one is that I messed it up myself. So I actually had decent entry. I actually had a good trade. I actually re-entered this one okay, and I ended up just messing it up myself. So the first trade on this one halted up once or twice or three times. I think 1, 2, 3. And so at this point, high a day clear out. going straight into high days. $2 right above it. I thought this was after 3 halts to the top, so I ended up shorting, and I got a very good fill on this one. I shorted it pretty high, so up here, and ended up halting down on me. So I was kind of celebrating again once it resumed. I covered some there, and instantly didn't want this thing to halt back up. This was already giving me JSPR buys and BBVO's buys. So when this popped up again, I ended up just fully getting out before that halt. So I got at right there. So green trade, but majority of my profit ended up going back to break even. On the second attempt on this one, I shorted this. It halted down again instantly. It just doesn't make sense how these halts are happening. So I shorted it again here, and this is where I was in pretty good profit. This was pretty good profit, stopped out. This again here from 1.6 down to 1.30, again 30 cents. I was in good profit, and then I had my stop at 155. So let me move this line up to 155. I had my stop up at 155, and I knew this level right here at 150. So I had my stop at 155 during this time right here, and then I was like, it's 30 cents below 155 or 25 cents. I'm just gonna move it down a tiny bit and put it right above 150. 150 might hold. It might spike up 150, 152, but 150 should hold. So I think I literally barely moved it down to like 152, 151, right there, and of course, it comes right back up, stops me out right here, and this is the one that ended up dropping right back down to 1.3, back down to 1.2, and then all the way now sitting at 1.15. Even a couple of these 1.1. So about 50 cents from where my entry was. So I definitely messed this one up by putting that stop too tight and getting stopped out. So here is that chart. So shorted there, covered majority. This is my big runner. Stopped at break even, saw it halting up, re-added, and then got wicked on right here, and then this thing just completely faded the rest of the day, and I was not in it at all. Well, not a big fade, but I definitely missed a lot of profit on that one. And then my last one is going to be a MEGL, which this one was a very tiny size short because I was late to it as well. It was in the middle of me finishing my stream and eating and stuff as well. And so I ended up shorting like here and there, and I ended up fully just getting out here because I just did not like this setup. So let me pull that up. It was green, but I just didn't like it. So there it is. So I ended up shorting on those spikes there. Kind of a low fill on that first one. I chased kind of the breakdown, and then I kind of just covered to get out of the trade. Didn't like it, and it's still holding sideways. Kind of like HKDS and stuff. So I'm glad I just got out of that one. Green, even after commissions on that one, even though that one was tiny size, so it helps a little bit. And that's it, guys. That's it for this video today. You guys leave a thumbs up if you guys like the video. So you guys comment if you guys have any questions, any requests on the streams, on the recaps, anything at all. You guys comment down below. 3 days green to start the year, so I'm pretty happy about that. Hopefully I can just increase the share size a little bit and push the profits a little bit more. But other than that, guys, good start. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on the live trading.